Hello YouTube, my name's Marie and today we're going to talk about the entire season of the Netflix original series, My First Love. I really hummed and hawed about whether or not I wanted to make this review because I really didn't have anything urgent to say about this series. And then I realized that in and of itself, me not having a strong impression or opinions on the show is still a useful criticism of the show itself. So let's just get into it. So My First Love follows a young college student who lives in his grandfather's home, and this house has many empty rooms. And one night, 3 of his friends all experience their own personal crisis and end up on his doorstep seeking shelter. You have the hopeful performer who lacks his parents' support, and you have the naive but very cute heiress who ran away from the suffocating structure of her wealthy family. And lastly, you have our female lead who has been long-term best friends with the male lead, the owner of the house. She's been abandoned by her mother and her house has been auctioned off by the bank. There's also love interests for our male and female lead respectively. So there's a wide range of personalities in this cast. I didn't dislike anybody in particular. In fact, I found a few of the characters to be given some satisfying growth, while others have wonderful depth, and I do want to know more about our male lead's love interest. I actually really liked her, even though she's kind of written to be a unlikable, untrustworthy character, but you know, I like me some morally gray women, so I like her. Just as I didn't really dislike anybody in particular, I also didn't love anybody in particular. They're all a bit forgettable. They're all what you would expect these characters to be like. And that is also true for the plot. It's a very comfortable plot and it moves along at an easy, slow-ish pace. It's a very slice of life kind of story. However, the ending is ambiguous, which some people will hate. I really enjoy ambiguous endings. And I also have a theory, which, you know, 2 seconds of my own research would confirm or deny my own theory, but I'm just gonna put it out there and you guys can tell me if I'm wrong or right, because for the most part, I think you guys are much more informed about the K-drama world and like Korea's industry than I am. I just kind of like find stuff. So my theory is that when Netflix acquired My First Love, it was actually a full standard 16 episode K-drama, but the executives at Netflix knows their Western audience. They know that for the most part we really enjoy multiple seasons, so I think that they just cut it in half and then put the first 8 episodes up as season 1, and I would bet you, based on no other information than my own hunch, that in a couple months season 2 will come out, even though it's probably just like all one set standard K-drama. You get what I'm saying? If this is truly a contained 8 episode miniseries, I think the ending is the most satisfying part about the show, because it doesn't spoon feed you all of the answers. Because it doesn't do that, it subverts a lot of tropes that I really despise. I will leave my least favorite tropes video down below, and if you watch that, I'm sure you'll be able to guess which tropes are related to this show. But if it isn't just a miniseries and we get a season 2, I think that knowing the romantic K-drama genre as well as I do, those tropes that are subverted in the first season will come to pass in the second season, Basically what I'm trying to say is that I hope I'm not disappointed if there is a second season, and if there isn't a second season, I'm quite happy with how this ended. If you watched my April wrap-up, I did shout this show out for like a few, maybe a minute. One thing I will say about my first love and the production side of things, the first episode and a little bit into the second episode I thought was overexposed to the extreme. Like, it was bad. Like, I understand what they were going for, you know, trying to make it feel very youthful, very romantic. I feel like a lot of romance dramas like turn up the exposure to make it have this like first love glow or whatever. I really don't enjoy that. So the fact that this show was so bright made me almost turn it off, but I think they rein it in a little bit as the episodes go on. It's still there. The show is still very bright, but I think it's working for it now that I have given it a chance. I've grown on the brightness of it. And you also like fall into the rhythm of the show, into this kind of very innocent, youthful, like the first love of it all. It does draw you into that, and I was reminded of my own first romantic experiences. I think it's very interesting that different cultures have these experiences at different ages. Like, I saw a lot of my very first relationships within this show, which I thought was perfect because that's what the show's about, you know, your first love. But while they're having it in college, I was having mine in like early middle school. Other sides of the production, I think that the cinematography is great. I really enjoyed a lot of the camera work, and the music adds a lot to the atmosphere of the show. It's very soft and charming. Overall, I believe I gave my first love far too high of a rating on my drama list. I don't think that I will be rating things on my drama list because of their 10-star format, whereas I prefer the 5-star format. I know I could just like times my ratings by 2 and then like there you go, it's out of 10 stars, but it's not the same because on my drama list it like prompts you what each star means, so I end up giving them like a higher rating than what I think they should get based on of like 8 stars. It's like I liked it, you know, and this show I think I gave 8 stars on my drama list, but I think that's too high. So for going forward, if you made it this far in the video, I probably won't be rating things on my drama list. It'll just be a catalog of the shows that I'm watching and plan to watch and have watched. Don't go to my drama list looking for reviews and looking for ratings of shows, because you're just not going to get that there. Here on YouTube is where you're going to get my actual opinions on things. And for my first love, I'm giving it a 3.75 out of 5 stars. If you like the romance genre and you have nothing else to watch, this is a shorter watch, which does add to its appeal. The process of watching it is quite enjoyable, even though none of the characters really stick out to me. So let me know down below if you have watched my first love. What did you think about it? How do you feel about the ending in particular? Do you think there will be a season 2? Have a good day, have a good night, bye. And just give me everything, and personally I'm not a fan of that. Like the ending within oh sorry, I can't tell you an ending of another show as an example. That would be spoilers. Okay, scratch that.